So, hello everyone, and thanks a lot for joining us today for this first webinar of a list of 5 this week. My name is Quentin. This webinar will be live, so we will present everything on live. I want to mention that because the others will be recorded, so we will be connected to you for those who subscribe for the others. For the introduction, we will speak about what will be presented during each webinar, each record, in fact. After, you will have around 45 minutes video recorded, and so during each of them, we will be able to ask questions, and we will be able also to answer those questions behind the recorded session. So let me introduce the team and the subject. So we will start speaking about the submarine drone learning experience we developed last year and that we just published today. Not today, this year, sorry. The first presenter will be Natasha. Natasha is leading the team, in fact, actually, for 2 years now. So his title is 3DEXPERIENCE Edu Senior Manager within 3DEXPERIENCE Edu organization. And so she will explain about our activities, what we are gonna do, what we are doing in the team, what is our focus, and how we decided to start this submarine drone experience, and in which context. So me, Quentin, so I'm working in the team since, wow, it's been a long time. It's more than 7 years now. I worked with Olivier, for those who know him, before Natasha. And I will speak about the strategy we used to work on the submarine drone. In fact, what we use from the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, precisely on 3D dashboard, and maybe if we have the time, a bit of CATIA systems on the sub. And Pierre Vecini, who is one of our apprentices in the team, who will present. So he's actually studying in ESILV in Paris, precisely in La Défense, quartier La Défense. He will talk about each activities we developed on the submarine drone, and how we created them, and what are the steps on each activities we developed. And that's all for this presentation. We will be able to answer some questions during each presentation. We will be able to present, and at the end, do not forget to answer the survey about if you can hear my voice well, and if it answer your expectation, and so on. So I give the hand to Natasha, who will speak about the Experience Edu Hub activities. Natasha, you can take the hand.
Hi everybody, I hope you are hearing me well. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so I'm glad you all joined for this first webinar. So as Quentin explained, this will be a series of webinars. We have a webinar each day this week, but they will all be recorded, so you will be able to find them later on if you miss one. So the 3DEXPERIENCE Edu Hub, let me give you some details. We are part of an organization within Dassault Systèmes that is called 3DEXPERIENCE Edu, Edu for education. We have been recently renamed. We were before called, I would say, the Workforce of the Future team. This 3DEXPERIENCE Edu team have four, I would say, strategic pillars. The first one is to work on what we call industry-ready skills. It's to study what are the skills needed on the market, what are our industrial customer needing in terms of training, in terms of how are they transforming themselves, and what would be the job of the future. The second pillar is to create experience-based learning. Once we have analyzed the skills, we have to create some training contents, and we are Dassault Systèmes. We are creating training content for academics, meaning for students, for teachers, but also for our industrial customers and for any individuals willing to get trained on one of these industry-ready skills. The third pillar would be lifelong learning, because I'm sure you're all convinced that as the technologies are evolving so fast and all the jobs are evolving, we will have to learn all our lifelong. And the fourth one is that we are not doing that alone. We are really relying on the global network of talents. We have a strong community of education partners who are helping us developing content, helping us delivering this content. Okay. So now within the team, the 3DEXPERIENCE Edu team, the first mission we have is to study what would be the skills of the future. Let me just refresh my screen. Seems I have. Okay, so what would be the skills of the future? Let me refresh that. So we are studying what are the different industry trends in the market, and you've got industry trends like the digital twin, like system engineering, like the digital manufacturing. Okay, it seems this slide doesn't want to show up today. Okay, here I'm back. So these trends those trends in industry, the smart factories, smart cities, and we are trying to deduce what would be the key roles, the key skills of the future. And we've got roles, of course, about robotics, about digital factory automation, civil engineering. Civil engineering is not a new role at all, but it's a role that is completely transforming itself. Of course, because of the IoT, mechatronics, electrical engineering, and embedded electronics would be a key topic. Everything around data science, 3D printing, software engineering, these are the key focus of the industry today and the skills they will be needing in the future. Within our team, what we are trying to do also is to connect, I would say, industry, academics, and students. You know that Dassault Systèmes, we are a strong player in the industry. We've got customers in 11 industries all around the world and across many different processes or disciplines. So we know the industry. We know what are the challenges and what are the innovative projects they're working on. So we think that it would be a great idea for us to connect industry and academics to help academics, I would say, work on real-world problems. To give you some challenges, some real challenges industry they're working on, and to create it into experiential learning, so real, I would say, project, so that students, they can get the skills that they will be needing once they are in the industry. What's the advantage also for the industry is to create for them a pipeline for future employees, because they know that the students, they will be trained on the right skills. Okay, and how are we doing that within my team? We are creating what we called Learning Hub Experiences. We have been creating these experiences for the past few years, trying to cover different disciplines like mechanical engineering, like simulation, like manufacturing, like systems engineering. And most of the projects we are developing are transdisciplinary projects. We want students to collaborate to create this project. And we're also trying to cover different industries. We've got I would say the robotics with our industrial equipment with the Poppy robot. We've got the submarine drone that we will be talking today is covering the marine and offshore, the introduction to smart beam for construction cities and territories. We've got here the dual rotor space for aerospace. Okay. We also have a physical showroom in our headquarters in Vélizy. Some of you may already have been visiting it. For those of you who are interested, we've got a virtual visit available on our website. So this is the showroom where we have all the different projects we have been working on. So you see the submarine that is here, you see this dual rotor space, the smart beam. And if we have some teachers from university on the call, it would be for you maybe interesting to organize a remote visit, because you see here we've got a webcam, so you could have Quentin and myself showcasing different experiences remotely to your students wherever you are. So you see that in our office, you've got the people here. So we've got interns, students, apprentices, and Quentin and myself who are working on the different projects. We created also in the past year a network of different learning labs around the world. We've got some key academic customers, university we are really working close by with, who decided to create a learning lab. So what is a learning lab? It's a place where students, they are learning by doing. They are learning with different kind of projects. And you see that we build these networks, and we've got university in Europe, we've got university in India, we've got university in Asia, and soon there will be one in the United States. And every quarter we are organizing a call between the directors of all these labs so that they can share best practice, share what projects they are working on, and maybe one day they will also co-create different projects for the students to get trained in an international context. And I wanted to show you quickly this community. I don't know if you're familiar with the swim community, but we've got this community, which is an external public community, meaning you just need your passport to log in. And in this community, you will find all the content we are publishing about the learning experiences, different kind of content. And for those of you who are part of the network or wants to be part of the Learning Lab network, we also have a dedicated community for the Learning Lab network. So now let's move on to the submarine drone experience. Why did we choose to create a submarine drone project? First of all, marine and offshore is one of the key industry for Dassault Systèmes. We have created industry solution experience for our customer. We studied their challenge and we created solutions to answer these challenges. So we've got customer all over the world, and in the past years we signed a lot of customer on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So we thought that because this customer, they will be deploying the platform in the upcoming years, there will be needing engineers or technicians who are skilled on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform and how to use it in a marine and offshore context. Here you've got, for example, a slide, sorry, it's in French, from Naval Group. And Naval Group, who are working really closely with them to train their technicians on how to use the digital twin of a submarine, for example. So that was one of the reasons we chose this submarine drone. And the second one was because of this foundation in Australia that is called Re-Engineering Australia. And they have a challenge that is called Sub in School. And Dassault Systèmes decided to partner in this challenge. So this challenge is for students from 12 to 18 years old. And they have to build this little submarine from scratch, I would say. They have all the different equipments. They have to design and to 3D print some parts. And we decided to create a package of the learning content on how to participate to this challenge with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. And now I will switch on to Quentin and to Pierre for the rest.
Yes, thanks a lot, Natasha.
If you have any question, please feel free to ask it in the question box, I would say, and I will answer it. Thank you.
Yes, there is a widget on the application of GoToWebinar for those who don't know that. On the right side of your screen, there is questions. You can open this box. You can also undock the pane form from the control panel, and you can ask questions, and we are able to answer that. So let me show you how we developed the Submarine Drone Experience. Sorry. Here is it. Just wanted to see if it's okay. Okay, great. Can I put that in a full screen mode? And let's get started. So for those who know us, you may already have seen this dashboard and the Submarine Drone Experience. this is the strategy we decided to use to in fact evolve on the project we are working on, such as project-based learning strategy. So we customize the dashboard this way using an Inspire tab, a Learn tab, an Innovate tab, a Create tab, and an Evaluate one. So this is a good base, a good template to start on the 3D experience with some widget inside to understand how to use a 3D dashboard on the platform without starting from scratch on CATIA directly. So first tab, Inspire. Here, the idea is to bring some information from the web. Okay, so when we start a project, the first thing you have to do is to look for what has been done firstly on the web or on documentation, or what has been created by other guys on YouTube, for example, or any type of data sources. Okay, so here I'm using some media links to just illustrate what I'm working on, and I'm using also quick links to add some trusted sources that I'm able to check each time I want to check it, or just to show what is the data I just stored in my Inspire type. Okay, here are some quick links from different sources, so schools, articles, call of offers, and others. But there is another one, another widget to use is a feed reader called Feed Reader from NetVibes Technology. That's really useful to focus and follow actual data, up-to-date data on your subject. So here we are focusing submarine. So all the information you can have here are coming from Soviet submarine firing, nuclear, etc. You have different kind of data you want to focus. You can filter on them with the preferences of the widget here, in fact, and what is the type of the widget I want to focus on. Here is a list. Okay, so this is for the inspiration tab. The second one is the Learn tab, where the idea for example, for a teacher is to push some content from learning content they have on their library. In fact, here we used it to showcase what is the difference we found on each type of submarine there is on the world. There is also ship and yacht construction we wanted to store, because this is a same way of thinking of building some ship, because those kind of vehicles are specific vehicles. They are not like a series from automobile or aeronautics side. So I stored my content here as just videos, so I'm using web page reader. I'm using also quick links to share a kind of bibliography that I've made on my project, and also I'm able to show a PDF from INSA Rouen that I worked on an ROV. This is the Learn tab. We can imagine as a teacher also to push some scheduled courseware that I have on my schools, and other type of content. In the Innovate tab, just one widget is used. So the 3D Swim widget, which is the collaboration widget on the platform. You have to imagine that this widget is like the social media that our students are using. All the social media in technology in the same place. So we have all of our students working on Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Google Drive, and so on. So here we have communities here that you can create for all of the group of students you have, for example, or project you are working on with your students. Here are the conversation you can have with your student. You can start a group of conversation by just adding some of them. Just wanted to select one community. Okay. In the middle we have all the content, all the flow of data we shared in the community I selected. Or what's new is all of the communities I'm working on. If I go back in Learning Hub community, I can see here on the right side each filter I can have on my type of media I have on my community. So if it's just media or the to-do or the IDs developed on the community, the idea of IDs is just to use the funnel of ideation, in fact, to have a kind of process about all of my ideas I put on this. It's like a brainstorming session, but not one time. It's during all the time of the project. So I just put an idea, and this idea is developed, and I can store this idea whenever I want, and I can also change the maturity of my ID in terms of the collaboration we made on, or what can I say about that? In fact, if you have an idea which is not possible at one time because of the technology, for example, available, so you start just this idea on this side, initiation, and after maybe 2 years, the technology is available, so you can put this idea in a plan maturity, and you can make evolve this. So even if it's a wrong or bad idea, you store them here, and you can have a traceability on this idea during the time without forgetting them. You have kind of questions also, or survey that your students are able to create on this community, and you store all the data on this community regarding your projects. In the Create tab, yes, the first time we are able to see a 3D model on the platform. But just I want to start on this widget, which is the Gantt of our project. Rather than using an external solution, in fact, here I have a Gantt connected to my 3D model, to my all of my data, in fact, on the project, on the Submarine project. And so I'm able to put some deliverables on each task of my project in order to keep all the data in the same place, in fact. So here I'm able to see each step of my Gantt, and I can see also the difference between the provisional and the actual state you see on the dashboard directly. So you can imagine that here you are the teacher, you want to follow the actions of your students, and you can see the difference between what you predicted and what's actually done, or what is actually on hold, or whatever you want. Here I wanted to show you the 3D model of my submarine. Maybe you can see some cubes. This is like a Minecraft, for those who know that this is Minecraft submarine. I think this is because of my connections at home. I want to show you that again. I refresh done. I didn't have this yesterday, but Natasha, yeah, you have this, I remember. So here we can see all of the parts, but as a cubes. That's very funny, but it's not sufficient. I will show you after the submarine in 3D. Here, this little widget called Bookmark Editor allowed me to structure of all of my data inside the project. So it's not just 3D data, it's also documentation like PPT, PDF, and whatever, pictures and whatever. Here on the right side, you have the 3D space widget where all of my 3D content and also PDF content are stored, but without any structure. Okay. So we have the tasks we have inside the Gantt project and milestones and etc. The phase, etc. So that's all for these 4 tabs. I will share with you the evaluate one on this dashboard, but I will also focus on another dashboard which will be more relevant, in fact, because here I'm focusing only on one project. Okay, so let me show you the analytics on the swim, which allowed me to see what is the activity, in fact, on my swim that I just show you in Innovate tab. This allowed me to how can I say that? You have to imagine that as a teacher, you are following different groups of students, and you want to see, you want to know if some of my groups of students or some of students are maybe stuck or not doing so much work on the project. So you want to help them, you want to warn them, and you are able here to see which one is doing what is the things he is doing, etc. Okay. So I'm gonna change the dashboard I wanted to show you and use this one. Where are you? Where are you? Here. Template. Great. Okay. So this evaluate tab is more relevant because, in fact, here I'm following 4 group of students working on 4 example of free-wheel car. I hope we will have the 3D. This one, yeah, it's containing 3D, but you don't want to show me that. So let's say on just 2 of them. Okay, because this will allow me, okay, okay, my connection is a bit slow because of the webinar, so I'm not able to show you the 3D, but you have to imagine, I will go back to this. As a teacher, I'm following 4 groups of students, so I'm able to see 4 different 3D of my 4 different groups working on, and so I'm able to see if there is difference between them, if some of them are stuck on the 3D. Okay, because this is a different way we see before. It was just analytics on 3D swim on the Innovate, and here I'm able to see information about the data on the 3D space. So 2 sides, 3D and 3D swim. And that's all for this presentation of the dashboard. And we just focus on one thing. I just wanted to go back to the submarine drone here. Okay. Is where we push all the data we created, all the activities we developed on the submarine drone. So let me go in another tab, which is the external swim that Natasha just told before. Let me go back here. So when you go back, let me show you if I just write 3DS, just that on Google, and okay, you see this address, you can click on it, and you arrived here. So there is multiple contents inside this. You shouldn't have the same view of me, because I have some communities that I'm part of. If I look for 3DX Edu Hub community here, I'm able to see the webinar session that we planned this week. But here on the right side, I talked about all the filters we had. Here it is one more, which is Wiki Pages. I can click on it, and in the arborescence, you can look for Submarine Drone Learning Experience. Okay, there is all over the others experience we are working on. And in this wiki, just two points. One point is for the cloud customers, academic cloud, okay, and the other point is for on-premises customers, because I'm not able to share my my 3D dashboard for the premises customers because of the versions, the different version we have. So here is the package you can click on, which is the last one, 2020X, and you have an access to the 3DS learning space. Okay, so if you are a cloud customer, you can also click on this and have an access to the 3DS learning space through your DS Passport ID, and you can click on each activities we made. Each activities we made are able here. When I am an academic cloud customer, here I have a copy of a dashboard that Pierre will explain to us just after. Webinar here. Okay, and here is the dashboard. So Pierre, I let you switch. So I have to log in. Yes.
Yes.
Just.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. And I go back here after I'm logged on. Sorry, Pierre.
No problem.
Yes. That's working. So Pierre, when you want.
Okay, so let me show my screen. Okay. So as you can see, this is our dashboard for the different activities on the Submarine drone. So this is the introduction of the dashboard. We have done a little video to present you the different activities and the work we have done on the submarine. And on the right on the screen, you will see a little introduction on the different activities. So I will let you discover the video if you want to go on the dashboard. The first activities is the base design activities. It will introduce the students on the 3D design, on how to 3D design on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, and on how the submarine works. So we have a little introduction on the activities with the different chapters. In fact, we have 3 main chapters on these activities. So how the understanding the structure design of the submarine, how to prepare the environment on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. We have also how to modify the design on the 3D platform on the submarine. So how to modify different parts of the sub with a simple task in the part design apps. And the last one will be how to build in real life the submarine. In fact, So let me show you how does it work. So it's a very intuitive design. We have many interactive parts on this activity. So we have a little overview here. The first chapter will show you how the submarine has been designed. So we have here the exterior design. You can click on the different parts to have more details on them. For example, here we have the control surface of the submarine. How does it work and how it had been designed. We also have the different specification of the submarine with the length, the wide, and the height. Because this is a submarine for the Submarine School Challenge, and we have a specification we must not exceed to have a good submarine who can participate in this challenge. We also have some information on the interior design of the submarine with the different parts, how does it works. For example, here you can see the different the servo and the principal motor to run the submarine and its different movements. We also have some animation to show how does it work. Here you can see the movement of the control planes. We have the rear part and also the propulsion system, for example. We also have a little electrical scheme to show you how does it work in the electrical part. Here you can see a little show of the submarine. The second chapter will teach you how to begin on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, how to log, how to import the content. We will allow you to download the model of the full submarine to work on it. So it will teach you how to download it, how to import it. As you can see, there is some step-by-step parts, so you can do it very easily. On the modifying the design chapter, we will teach you how to use the part design app and the assembly design app. In fact, we will allow the student to modify the different parts on the submarine. He will not create his own, but he will modify the existing one to make his own submarine. So here you can see on the video how to modify the nose part of the submarine. I will show you some of the vids. So you can see here with some little parameters, it will just change the shape of the parts to test different configuration of the submarine. So as you can see, now we have a completely different shape with some simple step. So it will allow him to make his own submarine with just some steps. So we have those kind of video for all the parts of the submarine. We have the conning tower, the control planes, the propeller shroud, and all of that with the mechanism and the different parts we will 3D print to create the submarine. The last chapter will allow you to create, to build in real life the submarine. So we have a shopping list to buy the different electrical parts, all the components for the submarine. We also have a list of printed parts, what part to print, with the different parameters of print, for example, the materials and the properties of the different parts. And we also have the build manual and another electrical scheme with the different information on it. So this is for the base design activity. We also have a knowledge activity. So what is knowledge? Knowledge will be used to create parameters and formulas to allow the student to modify, to create those parameters, to modify with just 2 or 3 clicks a design of one of his parts. So like the first activities, we have an understanding parts in the activities. So what is parameters, how to use it. So as you can see, here we have created parameters of the number of spokes on the wheel. So with just 2 clicks, you will be able to go from 4 spokes on the wheels to 7 spokes. So it will teach you how to use it in the part design app. So as you can see, we have a step-by-step on to use it by your own. And after that, there is a little activity on how to do that on the Submarine directly. So how to create the parameters, for example, in this video, it will show how to create those parameters and formulas. So it's a step-by-step, and it will teach you all the properties you have to create in these parts. So here, as you can see, we have how to associate the formula and the parameters to modify the design. You can see here a little example on one of the control planes. So here I will change the some radius to modify the parts with just some clicks. So it's a very it's an activity for beginners on the 3D experience. It will help you to introduce you on the platform and to better understand how does it work. The third activity is for more advanced students. It will introduce you on topological optimization. So what is topological optimization? It is a process to help you to design with the help of the computer optimized parts that will be lighter and more stiffer and better designed parts than if you do it like the manually, in fact. Here I have a little example. So it will help you to create organical design and a really nice design, in fact. Here you can see the base parts and the optimized parts. So it will be, it's a technique of design, in fact, that will let you create parameters, and after that the computer will do the artwork. So here it will introduce you on how does it work in the functional generative design app in the 3D experience. So you have all the steps on how to do it, how it works, and how to modelize the parts. And after that, it will show you a little activity on how to do it on a specific parts of the submarine. So you have all the steps to do it. Here you can see the different steps with the design space setup. The step 2 will allow you to mesh the parts before the simulation. So you will have to mesh the parts to prepare it for the simulation with the creation of all the constraints and the different forces will be applied on the parts. So as you can see, it will create the different constraints here on the support of the parts. After that, it will do a little simulation to validate the base parts to allow you to compare the different stress and displacement on the parts after you will optimize it. So you can see the results here of the simulation. The next step will be to define the targets you want. If you want a stiffer part or the more light part possible, it will allow you to create different targets to have the parts you want at the end. So in this part, we will have an objective of 50% of the base mass. So we want to lighter the parts. You have different constraints to create. We have different controls if you want to have a more optimized design. And the last part will be to create the optimized parts. So with all the process, and you will be able to have this kind of optimized parts. The second activity on this topic is on how to reconstruct the parts after the optimization. So it will allow you to perfect the design, in fact, on how to recreate the different shapes of the optimized parts. So it's a very nice process to use if you have never used it. And it allows you to create very, very nice parts. This is, for example, support for in the submarine. We have created it and we have printed it in real. And we have gained a lot of mass on it. The next activity is an introduction on virtual reality in the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. In this activity, we will introduce the student on how to use how to play an activity in virtual reality and how to create one. So we have an introduction on how the virtual reality work on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform with different examples of existing activities. We will show you how to prepare the environment with a demo to download and what panel to open, what option to prepare to run the scenario. And we will allow you to run an existing scenario we have done in the lab. So this is an assembly demonstration on how to build the submarine in a virtual reality. So I will let you see the activity. So with this simulation, you can in fact build some parts of the submarine in virtual reality to let you train you on how to build it do it after in real life, in fact. So the first step is to run this scenario. And in the second chapter, we will teach you how to create this scenario. So as you can see, you can take the parts and just place it to build a submarine. It's very intuitive, and it's very nice to play with it in virtual reality. So here, as you can see, we have an introduction on what the parts do you need, how to import it, how to create the different step of those parts. So as you can see, you have the mounted parts, the spare parts. To create this demonstration, this scenario, you will have to use a trigger zone. It will allow you to have a zone that detects when you place something in this zone to allow the next step to show. So you have the definition of the trigger zone and the placement of it. And after that, you have the creation of the scenario. So in the app, you will use the scenario editor with something called the natural language. It's like a code, a PC code, but it's very easy because it's very it has some help. You not have to write the entire code. You just have to click and select the different step you want to do what you want, in fact. So everyone can do it. It's a very easy scenario, and it will allow you to be introduced on the virtual reality application. So for the next step, I will let you, Quentin, to explain you. And
yes.
I will.
And let me also thanks a lot, Pierre, for this presentation. That's great. You did well. I just wanted to answer some questions I faced on. Some of you guys ask for where to have this dashboard and where to find it. In fact, it depends. As I explained just before, let me change the presentation to my screen and share my Chrome. Okay, great. Here is where you can find the dashboard we explained. We presented. So here you look for on Google 3DS. Okay. This is for any type of customers of you who didn't have the cloud platform. If you are on premise, this is for any of you. Okay, you look for 3DX Edu. You can do it on your side. And when you find this community, Edu Hub community, you click on this. And when you launch that, you have an access to the Wiki Pages on the right side, which will allow you to filter them. Okay. Or you can go inside the middle and you look for the Submarine Drone Learning Experience. And you click on it directly. If I click on the Wiki Pages, here the Wiki Pages are loaded and I can look for Submarine Drone Learning Experience. I click on it. And here, 2 points I explained just before. The copy of the dashboard for the academic cloud customers, okay, and the 3DS learning space courseware directly stored, okay. For the academic cloud customer, you also have here a dashboard called 3D Experience for Academia in your list of dashboard. Okay. So here you have your dashboard. If I click on this, this is not where I can change my dashboard. So you remember it changed just before. Here I was clicking on this and I have all my list of dashboard. This is this button I have to click on. I click on this button and I put this dashboard in a favorite. So if I want to look for it, 3D Experience, and you have, normally it should be here. So if I drop in you can see it here. Okay, favorite. 3D Experience for Academia. Okay. And when you go inside this dashboard, you arrived here. Boost your skills, where you can start your journey on Plex, peer learning experience, but you also have an access to enrich your experience here, and project-based learning experience we are sharing here. If I click on Add Dashboard here of a dive in submarine drones, I will add the associated dashboard in my platform. Okay, like I just did before. Web 1 add, and this will be the same dashboard that just Pierre showed us before. Okay, without the video. Maybe I should update that. Okay. So now I hope I answered the questions. I see that there is multiple question and chat, but I have to go forward before it stopped because we are close to the end. Let me show you what we've done on systems engineering, but I will take some times on systems engineering on Thursday if you subscribe to it. So you have here all the informations to customize and tune your own submarine in order to be able to create this kind of mechanism. I will just share my my 3D experience application. Let me show you. Okay, here my 3D experience. And so we developed it. Okay, I have to switch views. Great. So we developed all the mechanisms inside our submarine, thanks to Leah, another apprentice who worked in the team. And here is the system associated to it. I had a question on how to be able to connect with a real device. Here is an FMI of the Arduino, which allowed me to connect to the real submarine in my home here actually. But I will just show you the virtual simulation here. So select my logical, click on that. This will compile the model. In fact, here I just have some commands who are sinusoid in mathematics, just to move from the 0 position to 180 position or min-max position for the server I have in the submarine, just 3 servers and 1 motor. Okay, so I'm turning the motor at just 1 speed velocity and stop it, and after it go back to the actual speed. Okay, now it's launch, and I can press play if I'm able to see my screen, but I'm not able to see it because there is multiple application asking me Yes. Okay. Okay, great. Play. Just wanted to hide this. You can see it moving. We are able to see inside all the joints moving. Okay. So that's all for CATIA systems on the submarine. I will focus on from scratch experience CATIA systems on Thursday. So you can subscribe on it using the Swim community. And actually, we said, I think, all about the submarine drone experience. We are just 2 or 3 minutes more than predicted. I'm calling my colleagues now if they want to add something, if we are able to answer some chat messages or questions. Natasha, Pierre, okay for you?
Hello, Quentin. Thanks a lot. I think the time already passed, so
Yeah.
we try to answer question. We will answer the rest of the question on the community. I think that's it. Thanks a lot for attending. Thanks a lot for your question. Quentin, Pierre, do you want to have the final word?
Thank you all.
Thank you all.